Swung a launch to left field deep. Pham going back, looking up. He will watch it fly. And a miraculous comeback by the A's in the ninth is capped by Matt Chapman's 3-run home run. And the A's have won the game. And the final is 5-4.
It's now time for the A's Clubhouse Show.
And welcome to the Clubhouse Show. And for Chris Townsend and Ray and Vince, I'm Ken Korak. Just simply a really tough weekend to start the season for the A's, as the Astros put 9 runs on the board in 3 of the games and 8 runs in the other game. And they outscored the A's by a tally of 35-9. The A's won't have to wait too long to have another shot at the Houston Ball Club, as the A's will be down there on Thursday night to begin a 3-game series. But next up for the A's, it doesn't get any easier, and especially as far as the pitching is concerned, against a very tough lineup with the Dodgers coming in tomorrow night at 6:40. For the Astros, 9 runs, 11 hits, no errors, and 4 left. For the A's, 2 runs on 4 hits, an error, and 4 left. The winning pitcher is Brandon Bielak, who relieved the Astros starter Jose Urquidy with 1 out in the 5th inning, and Bielak was brilliant. He allowed nothing to the A's in 4 2/3 innings. And Sean Manaea, who went 4 2/3 for the A's, takes the loss today, and he allowed 6 hits and 5 runs. There was, I guess, a bit of levity in the 9th inning as the A's rookie outfielder Kai Tom came on and pitched the 9th inning, allowed a little ground ball base hit, and that was it. And the fans, and I think the A's, during a really tough series, got a little something out of that, a little lighter moment, maybe to lighten the mood around the ball club, as the A's will try to turn the page, and they'll have to do it in a big way as they await the arrival of the Dodgers tomorrow. So the A's 0-4, the Astros 4-0. The Dodgers took 3 out of 4, by the way, from the Rockies. They beat them 4-2 today behind the left-hander Julio Urias. So 9-2 Astros over the A's. When we continue, Chris Townsend will pick up the coverage. That's coming up right after this.
Hi, I'm calling to schedule a shipment.
Indeed knows unexpected employee turnover can turn your business upside down.
Last pickup is at 7? Team, we gotta hustle.
Like at Sumita's online chai company, to avoid back orders, she needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage.
This is A's Clubhouse.
Yes, this is the A's Clubhouse Show. Chris Townsend with Ken Korak, the voice of your Oakland Athletics. And I got to tell you, Ken, these 4 games pretty much played out the same way. And it was ugly, at times unwatchable. It was too long. Every game was over 3 hours. I mean, I can't sugarcoat it. This is an awful start for the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot of fun, Chris, that's for sure. And really symptomatic of what happened over the weekend was what happened today, because the A's, they trailed the entire series pretty much, but when they made it 5-2 in the middle of the game, you're thinking, well, they got a shot, going to the top of the 6th inning. And then the Astros scored 4 runs, and that happened in every game, where you kind of had the feeling, well, the A's could get back in it. They just couldn't hold the Astros down. And as Bo Mel said, they just haven't been playing well. And, it's 4 games out of 162, but you can't, you don't want to get buried in these 10 games. I mean, everybody knew this was going to be a tough start to the season, Chris, with 7 against the Astros and 3 against the Dodgers. But you don't want to come out of this thing like 2-8, 1-9, something. I mean, if they could. And they're capable of it with the Dodgers coming in. If they could take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, then you're kind of feeling pretty good, and you have some momentum going into Houston next week.
Yeah, but here's the problem. They're not hitting. And when you got Gingergaard, Kershaw, and Trevor Bauer, that's who you're facing for 3 games. I mean, that's very daunting. I mean, this is the best roster in baseball is coming to town, and you just got swept 4. And I know Dallas Braden brought this up on the broadcast, and it's so true. You can't win the division in April, but you can bury yourself so bad in April that it's tough, really, really tough to dig out. You're going to have to go on this super hot streak, and we know this has happened for years with the A's, where all of a sudden they get to May and June and they get hot. But you don't want to have to play Harry Houdini.
No, you don't. And the other thing is, in looking at the offense, you just hope that their key guys, I mean, you're losing not just players who are hurt, but key guys out right now. And we saw Pinder go down in the first today, Chris, and then with Murphy being out and Laureano, who's such a dynamic player, so I don't know if they're going to be available tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. But that hasn't helped the situation either.
No, not at all. But I can always give you a glass half full. I really like how Mark Canha's playing and how he's morphing into this leadoff guy, because we didn't know.
This is deja vu, man. You said the same thing last night, but you're true. You're right.
Right? I mean, he had a double today. I mean, so yesterday the A's scored 1 run. It was Canha. Today they scored 2 runs. It was Mark Canha.
Well, and the game in microcosm was when Canha went racing for that ball in right center field, had it in his glove. It ricocheted out of his glove, off the wall, back in his glove, but the ball's in play. And then in the next inning, Canha hits the ball at the corner of the wall where it's a double-decker out there where it's 388. Just after that, it's a home run. And, you know, that's just kind of the way the weekend went.
Yeah, I mean, and the reality is if you score 1 run or you score 2 runs, you're not beating these guys. And you're not going to beat the Dodgers doing that either.
No, not right now.
You talk about an offensive ball club, what you saw with Houston and what's coming to town. I don't want to be too negative because it's the start of the season. It's just, you know, wow. I mean, these guys got to pick it up quickly because, you know, right after this you're going to Houston again. I mean, it's just a reality.
And you wonder if they might do some things with the bullpen.
Yeah, having Rosenthal be on the shelf right now, it changes everything.
It doesn't sound like he's going to be back anytime soon, too, Chris.
Yeah.
And if you have to go to a position player to work in the 4th game of the year, it just shows you what happened to the bullpen and the pitching staff in the series. So, you know, are they thinking that maybe there's a guy or two down there who might be able to help him out for the next week or so?
Yeah, you know, tough sledding. And hopefully tomorrow everything will change. You wake up, It's a new day, it's a new series, it's a new team. You get fired up for the world champs, and let's go. So, all right, we'll let you out of here.
It'll be a fun night, too. And as I said, Chris, it's the only chance for A's fans to see the Dodgers at the Coliseum this year. And, you know, it's a great opportunity to come back and watch some baseball. And
you know what? You know, I'll tune in and watch Dodger baseball. They're a fun team to watch. I mean, they're guys, they play with a lot of joy, and they have a lot of fun what they're doing.
A lot of stars, yeah, no question about that. And Dave Roberts, one of the best guys in the game.
Oh, yeah, we talked to him last spring training. I mean, I got to play against him in high school and in college. He's a super, you know, for a guy that has accomplished so much, he's such a humble, nice man.
So you're a big part of his development then?
He beat me in football.
Did you throw a couple of cookies right down the middle to him?
He beat me in football in high school, and I beat him in college baseball. So we're
just strike him out?
He didn't play. Remember, Dave Roberts was a walk-on
at UCLA.
Yeah, he was a walk-on,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like he was a scholarship guy. So he didn't play a whole heck of a lot when we played him. It wasn't until he got to like his senior year where he started playing and became the player that he is, and still, arguably, maybe the greatest stolen base of all time.
The most important stolen base in the history of the game, I think, for sure. All right, man.
All right, you take care. We'll see you tomorrow at the Yard.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, the number's 833-625-2278. That's 833-625-2278. I think you can tell by the tone of my voice. I'm not thrilled. And I'll keep saying it's early. But, man, it has looked bad. You realize the Astros are the 4th team in the history of baseball to score at least 8 runs in the first 4 games of the season. We've been playing this game for well over 100 years. They're just the 4th team to do that, and they did it against the A's. I mean, this has not looked good. This has been bad baseball. Long, bad baseball. And you know the old saying that I've had for years, if you're going to play bad, do it quickly. But, I mean, you run down the line here. Outscored 35-9. Out-hit 47-21. If they don't homer, they don't put up big numbers. Dating back to last season, they are 4-14 when they do not hit a home run. That's starting to be not a small sample size. And you look at the Astros, they hit home runs, but they generate runs other ways too. And if this was a statement, they made it. You can yell cheater all you want at these guys. They came in and took it to the A's like it was nothing. It scares me. It really does. Because the Dodgers are coming to town. And the Dodgers, obviously we know they won the World Series. But this might be the best roster in baseball that's coming to town after you just got swept 4 games. You can't keep affording to lose series. I don't care what your history says. Because you know what? Every team's different. You don't know if there's going to be that second gear that's going to happen later on. Oh, they're going to get hot, Chris. Remember, they've done this all these years. Well, not every year. And the injuries are mounting. Yeah, we don't know when Trevor Rosenthal is going to be back. There hasn't been a whole lot of information. What we do know, it's not if, let's just say if he comes back. We have no timetable, no clue. And that's a scary thing. And hopefully Mike Fiers going to throw tomorrow at the alternate site. I mean, hopefully there's going to get guys are going to start getting Ramon Laureano and Murph, and guys will come back. But, man, a 4-game shellacking at the start of the season that's not a good appetizer. That's an appetizer you want to send back. We're going to take your phone calls, 833-625-2278. That's 833-625-2278. Athletics with the loss, 9-2. They get swept. A 4-game series to start out the season. Ugh. Your phone calls next right here on the A's Clubhouse Show.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly. Cookies and milk. Oakland and Kaiser Permanente. If that last one caught you off guard, it shouldn't, because Kaiser Permanente has been helping keep Oakland healthy since our very beginning. And as the official healthcare partner of the Oakland A's, that won't be changing anytime soon. Whatever you may need, you can trust Kaiser Permanente to help keep you feeling your best. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive. Visit kp.org today.
Driven, determined, resilient. Cal State East Bay students are today's creative thinkers and tomorrow's workforce for the region. Cal State East Bay is recognized as one of the most transformative college experiences nationwide, educating the new generation that questions the status quo and works together to find meaningful solutions. Apply today for our degree and certificate programs. We are not just a university, we are a community. Find yourself here at csueastbay.edu.
If I learned one thing from this great game of baseball, it's that she'll humble you. You think you've got it figured out, you check the standings, and you're in last place again. I'm Eric Rubino, Fantasy Baseball GM, and I can put my team in position to win every single time, but I can't play the games, people. At least Progressive's Name Your Price tool has options based on my budget. It never lets me down, unlike my pitching staff. Amateurs!
Get options based on your budget with Progressive, even if you're not a legend in your own mind. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state.
Drivers, start your engines. The Honda Dream Garage Spring Event, where every vehicle is inspired by Honda's racing spirit, is on now. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% APR on the 2021 Honda Civic Sedan or redesigned Accord.
See dealer for financing details.
You're listening to the A's Clubhouse Show.
And the number is 833-625-2278. That's 833-625-2278. Let's lead it off with Matthew in San Jose. Matthew, you're on the A's Clubhouse Show. Matthew, are you there? Well, that's kind of par for the course the way things have been going, right? Is he there? All right. We'll try and make. All right, let's try for George. George, you're on the A's Clubhouse Show.
For the last 5 years, they would they get to the pennant. They would win the pennant. They would lead the league in home runs and Chris Davis, Simeon, and Cespedes. I mean, go all the way back. What's wrong with the team vision direction, man? As soon as they get somebody that's you help them get to the promised land, they get rid of them, man. I mean, and this year, I agree with Chris, man. That this is a terrible way to start, man. And then they're going up against the Dodgers, man. What? That's ownership. What's your take on it?
Well, I'll tell you what. If they play like this against the Dodgers, they'll get swept against the Dodgers. I mean, you got
they are going to get swept. Yeah.
I mean, you're going up against three pitchers. I mean, Kershaw's an all-time great. Trevor Bauer's coming off the Cy Young, and the first kid you're going to see, Gingergaard, this big kid, he's throwing 100 miles an hour. I mean, you're going to face three legit pitchers who are going to come right after you, and if you're scoring 1 or 2 runs, they're going to kick the crap out of you.
Who's our big batters? Because, okay, my man just said Davis is gone, Simeon is gone. I mean, those were part of the reasons I hung around, to see him, Davis be in the home run derby and Simeon just, doing his thing. And, I mean, I go as far back as Cespedes. And how come they get rid of all their – I mean, the people, I mean, their main guys. What's up with that?
Well, if you saw the last, 2 years of Chris Davis, George, I don't think you're too bummed that you got rid of him because he just couldn't make contact. Unfortunately, Simeon was pricey. Cespedes, they fell out of favor with Yoenis Cespedes, and obviously Cespedes, his career has gone way downhill since he left, but there's always going to be movement with the A's. That's going to be the way it works. But I really thought this group was going to be far better than this. Now, we got a lot of games left to play, but at some point we're not going to be able to say that anymore. We'll be able to say it now, but at some point it won't be early anymore.
They're going to be down there with the Giants, man. I mean, because I got a job full of Giants fans, and I love coming in, wearing my A's gear, man. But we'll see. Like you said, man, it's this is the season's early, so we'll have to. Now, who do they play next? When do they play again? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, the Dodgers come to town.
Is that a morning game or evening?
It's an evening game. 2 evening games and a day game on Wednesday.
And a day game, okay. Okay, hey, man, just try to stay positive.
Keep wearing your gear, man. Keep wearing your gear and wear those Giants fans out.
Amen, amen. All right, happy Easter to you.
Yeah,
right
you too. Take care. I mean, Belak comes in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He retired the last 14 guys? Belak? Are you kidding me? You can't get one hit off Belak? You're throwing a position player 4th game of the year? I mean, I don't even know how to find this out, but what's the earliest anyone's ever pitched a position player? I'm sure it's happened before in the first 4 games, but I bet that hasn't happened a lot. I mean, the first series, you're throwing a position player. I mean, levity? I don't know. I mean, I'd be kind of looking around going, what the? I mean, yesterday, you couldn't get the game over. It was so bad. I mean, you had a pitcher out there who couldn't throw strikes in big league baseball, had 3 wild pitches. The way these games have ended has just been, I mean, it's been the same script every game. The Astros scored 3 in the 9th on opening day. Second game, they scored 3 in the 9th. Third game, they scored 4 in the 9th. At least you held them scoreless in the 9th inning today. But, man, whew. Let's go to Donnie in Alamo. Donnie, you're on the A's Clubhouse Show.
Townie, get your chin out of your chest, brother. It's Game 4. Come on.
Okay. When do you want me to be worried?
Oh, maybe Game 30. How about that? Why don't we say we've played a few weeks? We've played 4 days, and you sound like the season's over already. And by the way, Tom is our new closer.
Can you imagine all of a sudden he's got like 30 saves? You're like, this guy throws so slow no one can hit him.
Yeah, I mean, heat. The opposite of heat is, I guess, cold, right? So he throws ice. That's what he throws. Hey, maybe we actually should look at Yoenis Cespedes because he looks pretty good in that little tryout he did, and we could get him cheap, and the fans love him, and it'd be something to do while we wait for the team to wake up and get healthy. I mean, they're injured. These are key injuries, by the way. Your closer's hurt. You got your super sub utility guy now, your number 5 starter. I mean, this isn't Tony Kemp that's hurt, okay?
Your catcher,
anyway,
your center fielder. That's why things are kind of like uh-oh.
Right, but I'd rather get it all out of our system early. And just remember, they play 162, man. So come on.
I hear you.
Find your happy place.
But you got to admit, there is a little uh-oh.
No, there's only I haven't added O yet. It's too early for O. Just That's it.
I hope you're right,
Easter.
Donnie. I hope you're right.
Okay.
God, I hope you're right.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
I am. Okay, bye.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's early. It's a bad look. It really is a bad. They go out and take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, and you're like, see, it's early. This is a very interesting series. This is a very, very interesting series coming up here. And the Dodgers are coming to town. They just took 3 out of 4 in Colorado. Their lineup is dangerous. You're facing 3 really, really good pitchers. You didn't face. I mean, look what you faced. Greinke, okay. But then after that, Javier, McCullers, Urquidy. That's not Gingergaard. That's not Kershaw. That's not Trevor Bauer. You got big boys coming into town. It's going to be a challenge. I guarantee you, if this doesn't go well against the Dodgers, I don't know if Donnie's going to be saying, hey, let's wait 30 games. Yes, you have to let it play out. I get it. But we have to talk about the games that are in front of us. And if you just sit here all the time and say, it's early, it's early, it's early, it's early, next thing you know, you wake up and you go, oh, my God, it's not early. Now, if they were losing 3-2, 4-2, that's one thing. But they got hammered in this series. They were outscored 35-9 in 4 games. 35-9. They got to wake up. The bats got to get going. Pitching wasn't great, but, bottom line, if you're scoring 1 run a game or 2 runs a game against the Astros, the Dodgers, the good teams, you're not going to win. Donnie is right. We got to give it time. But I still have to talk about the games that are in front of me. And let me tell you something. In the Bible, as we like to call it, my scorebook, for anybody that gets on safe, that's in red pen. Outs are in pencil. And I can tell you my scorebook right now on the side that has the Astros is full of red ink. It's red ink everywhere, all through the game. I want to believe in this team. I want to believe that they can win 100 games. I want to believe they can win the division. It's still possible, no question about it. But I just don't want them to dig a hole that's so deep that, you gotta pull out a miracle. Like in 2012, when, I don't remember what the date is now, it's been so long, but it was sometime in June, from like June 4th on. I think it was around the 4th or whatever it was, somewhere in early June. From that point to the end of the season, the A's had the best record. The A's hit the most home runs. Texas got cold at the end, and they just reeled them in to that very last game. But that stuff doesn't always happen. It would be nice, and right out of the gate, the Astros are feeling themselves. I've been saying this I'm now been saying it for 4 days. They got swagger. Their swagger is back. The playoffs last year put their swagger back in them. And if you weren't at the games, you should have seen their dugout and the way they're high-fiving and all the moves they got. I mean, they came in and kicked you-know-what. I didn't know how they were going to react to being called cheaters. Was it going to break? There was maybe the belief that, everybody piling on them would just get to them mentally. Well, I didn't see that. They basically came in and said, hey, we're not banging trash cans. How's it working out for you? And now, and after the Dodgers, you got to go to Houston. You got to go to their park, their bandbox, where their offense just thrives. Ooh, I know it's early. I get it. But you got to play better. This is the big leagues. People are going to come out and take your lunch money. You don't play your best, you're going to get beat night in and night out. I mean, heck, even the Orioles are winning. I mean, certain teams are – I'd rather get out to a hot start than get out to a very cold start. And the Trevor Rosenthal thing, it's worrisome. I was not at first worried. I'm now worried. I think things are going to come out to where he's going to see somebody, and we don't know how long he's going to be back. And then, I mean, you need him. You needed him because that pushes everybody back down in the bullpen. So Diekman's now not having to be your closer. Well, you haven't needed a closer yet anyway, so it doesn't matter. But, it pushes everybody's role down. Now everybody's got to step up a role. Thought Donnie was funny. Tom's the new Hey, Tom's got a 0 ERA for his career. You can't take that away from him. And how about the reaction of his mom? How good was that? All right, the number is 833-625-2278. That's 833-625-2278. We are leaving our terrestrial radio, and we're going to be just on A's Cast. So if you want to listen on your phone, you want to listen on your computer, you want to listen on your tablet, go to athletics.com/A'sCast. Real simple. You'll go there and you'll see, and you'll hit the play button, and we're there for you. Athletics.com/A'sCast. Your phone calls, and we're going to hear from Bob Melvin. We'll hear from players. That's all coming up next right here on the A's Clubhouse Show.
Tired of searching for sports updates in different places? The Xfinity Sports Zone gives you the ultimate sports hub experience, where you can find games, news, and highlights all in one place right on your TV. Follow the teams you love across your favorite sports. You can even use the voice remote to access stats and scores. With the Xfinity Sports Zone, everybody wins. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store for details. Restrictions apply. Requires Xfinity TV service with X1.
Drivers, start your engines. The Honda Dream Garage Spring Event, where every vehicle is inspired by Honda's racing spirit, is on now. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get 0% APR on the 2021 Honda Pilot, Passport, or redesigned Ridgeline.
See dealer for financing details.
We could all use a little extra hope. CalHope offers free tips and tools to help manage COVID-19 stress and anxiety. Call our warm line at 1-833-317-4673 to talk with someone who can help. Hope lives in California, in our businesses, schools, and homes, in our people, and in our shared hope for the future, one where we can all safely come together again. Visit calhope.org or call 1-833-317-4673. Hope lives here.
Looking to stay up to date on all things A's? Head over to athletics.com/A'sCast. That's athletics.com/A'sCast to listen to A's baseball and full 24/7 coverage of the A's only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and, of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/A'sCast today.
This is A's Clubhouse.
All right, you're going to hear from Bob Melvin, but I'm checking with my guy, Martin Gallegos, MLB.com. And here's a quote, and you'll hear this in a little bit, from Bob. "We don't feel good about it. It's a little bit embarrassing. We played really poorly, and they played great." And then also, for Chad Pinder, it's not his head. It's a left knee sprain. He's getting an MRI tomorrow. Oh, it just doesn't stop. I mean, these guys played so well in spring, and now they're just so beat up. Hard to believe. Really hard to believe. Let's get back out to the phones. Let's go to Greg in San Luis Obispo. Greg, welcome to the A's Clubhouse Show.
Tony, what's cracking, bro? Happy Easter.
Yeah, you too.
That's about the nicest thing you're going to hear from me today when it comes to this phone call. I'll tell you that much. To say I'm embarrassed would be an understatement. I mean, you touched on a lot of the hitting, and the bullpen didn't look real good. I think it's time to quit calling the Astros our rival. The Astros aren't our rival; they're our daddy. I mean, let's just tell it like it is. I mean, yeah, we went 7-3 against them last year in the regular season, but we're not close to the Astros level. They're top shelf. I mean, that offense, like you.
What happened to Greg?
This is Tony.
Who's this?
Tony.
Okay, Tony, for some reason Greg got cut off. Go ahead, Tony. You're now on.
Yeah, hey, I just am concerned because of two things. When the bullpen isn't what it was last year, and you're right about Rosenthal. I'm more concerned about how they started hitting. I'm talking about, Chapman. When those guys started, I don't know, bad habits, whatever you want to call it. And I always brought up Lowry as an example. Oh, he's trying to get back at it after a couple injury years. They're just swinging and missing too much. They don't make their pitchers work like they used to. It's just not the same A's that we're used to watching. And the only way they're going to be able to ride this out to find their pitchers, and they get, it's just a shakeout that Bo Mill has to go through. And it's just going to be, one of those terrible Aprils where you go 9 and whatever.
Oh. Yeah,
we've seen this before. This is nothing new, and everybody's just doesn't want to hear this, but and you saw what happened in that Chavez Arena last year when you have fly ball starters, throw fly balls, they get pounded. Bassett doesn't get pounded as bad because he's got good movement and he has command of it. These other guys, if they don't get, Luzardo doesn't have his command perfect. He pays the price because they just punish the ball, especially this lineup that's used to seeing the A's pitchers.
Yeah, usually fly balls work in the Coliseum, but in today's baseball, whether this is a deadened ball or not, this first 4 games, the Astros did not have a problem hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
No, and that's why the relief corps is so important. If we don't have a really top-notch relief corps, it's going to be an ugly April, maybe even an ugly May, and then it's sayonara, and we're all talking about, what the hell's going to happen in re-signing both Olson and Chapman. And the way Chapman's playing, he's losing his confidence, and he's swinging with arms. He's just an arm. I don't know what's wrong. Something's wrong, or he's just having to refine himself because his timing is way off. And Lowry, of course, is going through what all guys go through at their age. If he can't keep up with those high fastballs, he may just be up for a cup of coffee and gone.
Well, Lowry's hit so far. He hit a double and an RBI today. Had the day off yesterday. The day before, Jed had 2 hits. So I think Jed looks like Jed again. I'm not worried. Jed Lowry is not the problem. Jed can still play. He's hitting. He had a double and an RBI today. I'm not worried about Jed. It's other guys that I may be worried about. It's a lot of non-contact, and it's a lot of soft contact. That's what we've seen these first 4 games.
What's your gut feeling about Piscotty? We're all pulling for the guy. What's your gut feeling?
I don't think he's healthy. I think that wrist is, if you look, it's just the way we've watched him play, and we've watched when he's been healthy and he's been good. I just don't think he's 100% with that wrist. And if your wrist is not 100% and you're trying to hit the best pitchers in the world, not easy to do.
Well, I'm not giving up. I'm just going to hang in there until it gets so ugly that I guess, we'll all just have to. I'm just hoping it doesn't happen.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for the phone call. Yeah, I'm not giving up. I'll be here all season. So, rain or shine, I'll be here. By the way, I'm looking at the post-game notes, and it says the A's have started the season 0-4 for the 3rd time in Oakland's history. The other times were 1979. Got to be honest with you, really don't remember. 1979 for me is really when I started, like I can recall, I remember. But people will come up to me all the time. They'll be like, hey, you remember when the A's won 3? I was born in 1972, so I wasn't a baby watching the great A's teams. 1979 obviously was big for Pittsburgh, as you had the Steelers winning the Super Bowl against the Rams. You had the Pirates beating the Orioles in the World Series, the We Are Family Pirates. That's kind of when I remember, like the Raiders in 1980. That was my first Super Bowl party I remember as a kid. So that's kind of when I start to remember sports from growing up. But just to give you an idea, if we're talking 0-4 starts, the 0-4 1979 Athletics went 54-108. The 1987 Athletics, which I know Dave Stewart was talking about. I only got to watch just a little bit of Brody and Dave after the game, so I got to get onto this show. The 1987 team that started 0-4 went 81-81. We think this club's way better than that. I hope to God this club is way better than that. And here he is making his debut in 2021. Bitter Bill is with us here on the A's Clubhouse Show.
Oh, Chris, I was going to call you after every loss, but I don't have enough minutes on my cell phone to call you.
That's good. That's good. It's a good start.
This is pathetic. You see their approach the A's hitters are doing? How many 30 called strikes they had this weekend? 3 or 4? And then they'll swing at the ball in the dirt or swing strike 3. This is a bad approach when they come to the plate. And they're still not hitting with runners in scoring position. This has been the problem last year, and this is a problem this year. And it's time to fire Bush. It's time to change for a change. We can't think of home runs every time. And this is pathetic. And we can't blame it on, well, Murphy's not in there, the laser's not in there, we're missing our closer. We got us 35. Our ERA is about 9 this year. 9.
Yeah, and the thing about, when you talk about the Astros, you're not facing Justin Verlander. You're not facing Garrett Cole. They don't got Osuna back there in the bullpen. This is an Astros team that is not as good when they won the World Series or when they've played in the 2 World Series. And I know Springer's gone, but now they got Yordan back. But still, this roster isn't as good as it used to be. So maybe this is just a blip and everything's going to be okay. It's just, it's not, the opening act, basically if this was a play, the opening act wasn't great. You didn't enjoy it.
No.
I'm hoping the rest of the play and the actors are going to step their game up and it's going to entertain me and I'm going to like being there. But the first opening act is kind of leaving a bitter, as you would say, a bitter taste in your mouth.
But another thing, Pinder goes 2 for 4 opening night, makes 2 great defensive plays, and he sits the bench the next game. Come on, Melvin. Really? Put your script down and just play the hot hitters. You don't need to go by. I don't know what he's doing.
Well, you're gonna let your roster play, especially for, the first, at least the first month. Everybody's got to play, and then you start settling in more as you get later in the season. But the first month, everybody's got to get in there and get their feet wet, and everybody's got to get some ABs.
Okay, but Chapman's hitting hasn't got a hit, and they let him play, and they set Pinder.
Well, your guy Chapman finally got a hit today in the first inning.
Oh yeah, when he's hitting 100,
he's got to get going. I mean, that's no question. Bitter Bill, I so appreciate you calling. And you can call whether it's a win or a loss. You know that.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if they're going to win ever again.
Have a great Easter, Bitter Bill.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is not how I thought it was going to go. I did not see it going this way. And that's, I admit, there's been plenty of times in my career where I have been wrong. And I was so geeked up for this series and the start of the year, and, this was going to be such a great year, and still can be. There's no question. A lot of time left. But, it's like I said, if this was a play, the opening act wasn't so hot. And, man, the kid you're facing tomorrow night, this May kid, Ginger Guard, I'm sure you're baseball fans, you've watched. He's electric. I mean, it's like the Dodgers got so much freaking talent. And they're bringing up more guys. I mean, they're supposed to got more guys in the minor leagues. It's like everybody they got. Like, I've been wondering why they don't take this May kid and make him the closer. I know Kenley Jansen's making a lot of cash, and Blake Trinan and Gratterall, but man, this May kid, can you imagine him just coming in and he's effortless 100 miles an hour. Effortless. And he's tall and he's got long legs and long arms and that's the first guy you get. Then you get one of the greats in Kershaw, who's going to be happy to be at a Coors Field. And then you're getting a guy that's, at one point was throwing a no-hitter. Trevor Bauer was throwing a no-hitter at Coors Field. I think through like 6. And then they got him for a couple runs, but, it's Coors Field. Now you're off the mountain. You're back at sea level. And Trevor Bauer's on top of his game. That's what you're getting for 3 straight days. Hopefully you can get them and get to the bullpen. Because if there is one thing that the Dodgers aren't great at, if you look at last year, their bullpen's not lights out. Joe Kelly, these guys, they're not lights out. But You're going to face some really good starters. Let's go to Matt. Matt, you want to talk about the Dodgers series right here on the A's Clubhouse Show.
Yes, but just before my Dodgers question, I was just kind of thinking while I was on hold. Chris, when's the Oakland Coliseum going to host another All-Star game? They haven't done it since 1987.
They will not get an All-Star game until they get a new ballpark.
Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have popped to the question. And my Dodgers question is, there's certainly no question about it. The Dodgers are one hell of a ball club. Is there any inkling of a chance whatsoever we could maybe perhaps take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers? I'm sure hoping something gives. That'd be great to take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers.
Oh, that would give if they can rise up, take 2 out of 3, get that confidence back, that swagger back, and get on the plane and go to Houston and say, okay, now it's round 2. That's it. That's the thing. It's like this Dodgers series is followed up by another Astros series. And how are you going to go to Houston? Are you going to go to Houston feeling great about yourself, or are you going to go to Houston with your tail between your legs? What's it going to be? Because
I say cross your fingers and knock on wood.
Yeah, I say, you know what? Man up. Like, okay, guys are hurt, but guys got to start hitting. Guys got to start pitching. But no matter what the pitching situation is, you're not – if you're scoring – I mean, just look at it. You scored 1 run twice in this series. Today you scored 2. The only game you had 5 – you scored 5 runs in game 2. But the other games you scored 1, 2, and 1. You're scoring 1 or 2 runs a game. You're not beating Houston. You're not beating the Dodgers. You're not beating these teams. Yeah, when the Yankees come to town or you go to New York, you're not beating them if you're scoring 1 run. So that's, you can talk all you want about the pitching, but if you're only scoring 1 run, you got no shot.
I hear you. Well, tell Chad Pinder I hope he gets better. We can't do without Chad.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, thank you for the phone call, Matt. The number is 833-625-2278. That's 833-625-2278. Coming up next, we'll take your phone calls, and we'll hear from Bob Melvin right here on the A's Clubhouse Show.
Take advantage of an irresistible new offer from HelloFresh. Get delicious recipes and fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered to your door. With more than 25 weekly recipes, there's something for everyone to enjoy, including family-friendly, vegetarian, and low-calorie options. Plus, you can skip the store and save up to 28% on groceries. Go to HelloFresh.com/GoTeam12 and use code GoTeam12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping, for a limited time only. That's code GoTeam12 at HelloFresh.com/GoTeam12.
Yeah, sure, the players bring some skill to the game, but if I don't put them in my lineup, who cares? Not me. I'm Eric Rubino, fantasy baseball GM and league runner-up 2 of the last 9 years. I use the Progressive Name Your Price tool with options based on my budget. And for a guy that's used to being in control, it fits. Like this runner-up t-shirt. Champ gets a trophy, but you can't wear a trophy. Boom.
Get options based on your budget with Progressive, even if you're not a legend in your own mind. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
In the front, we'll take out that tree, install a new fence.
You're gonna call 811, right?
Isn't that just for excavators?
No, dude. Calling 811 is for excavators, homeowners, contractors, anyone. Natural gas lines and other utilities can be buried anywhere. Call 811 2 working days before any digging project to get all underground lines marked for free.
Thanks, deep-voiced narrator.
You're welcome, dude. Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
O'Reilly. Cleaning your fuel system can make your car run better and improve gas mileage. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts and pick up a bottle of Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner and add it to your tank during your next fill-up. On sale now, buy one, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop by and talk to our professional parts people today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Tired of searching for sports updates in different places? The Xfinity Sports Zone gives you the ultimate sports hub experience, where you can find games, news, and highlights all in one place right on your TV. Follow the teams you love across your favorite sports. You can even use the voice remote to access stats and scores. With the Xfinity Sports Zone, everybody wins. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store for details. Restrictions apply. Requires Xfinity TV service with X1.
The Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card transforms your everyday missions, so you can turn your commute fare, next stop 8th Street, into tickets for an awesome night out. And turn your grocery run into a trip to total relaxation. Get 3 times the points on supermarkets, restaurants, and on gas and transit. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Open to the Armed Forces, the DoD, veterans, and their families. Insured by NCUA. American Express is registered service mark of American Express. Used by Navy Federal under license.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E.
Guys, we need to clear a path here.
Indeed knows unexpected employee turnover can stall your business.
Stop by tonight. John.
Like at Chris's Logistics Company. To avoid things grinding to a halt, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Drivers, start your engines. The Honda Dream Garage Spring Event, where every vehicle is inspired by Honda's racing spirit, is on now. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% APR on the 2021 Honda Civic Sedan or redesigned Accord.
See dealer for financing details.
Looking to stay up to date on all things A's? Head over to athletics.com/A'sCast. That's athletics.com/A'sCast to listen to A's baseball and full 24/7 coverage of the A's only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and, of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/A'sCast today.
You're listening to the A's Clubhouse Show.
All righty, let's get back to the phones, and we'll hear from Bob Melvin here on the A's Clubhouse Show. Let's go to Andrea, my astrologer. I hope she's going to have some good news. Andrea, can you please tell me that this is going to change?
Yes, I'm happy to keep things in perspective, Townie. And it's interesting when you were talking about being born in 72 and the games that you attended and so on. And I basically got into baseball in 1973 during the Mets You Gotta Believe season. And interesting cosmic coincidence, they played the A's in the World Series that year. But they were in the basement. They were barely playing .500 ball that summer. And then they got into the postseason, and as they say, the rest was history. So, it is only 4 games, and, keep that in perspective. And in yet another cosmic coincidence, Kai Tom, which was kind of a nice feel-good story, and Trevor Rosenthal, they're both Geminis, May 29th. Kai Tom, 1994, Rosenthal, 1990. A little more concerned about Rosenthal. He has Mars in Pisces, Neptune's in Pisces, and that can be some confusion and maybe a little slower healing. Mars is energy, assertion, aggression, a really important planet for an athlete. But Gemini, variety is a spice of life. And I don't know whose idea it was to put Kai Tom in, but I thought that was some, like a little, I don't know if I'd say comedy relief, but something bright and something different to kind of latch onto instead of, the losses. So Gemini, Tim Lincecum pitched out of the bullpen. He pitched in the rotation. He was a Gemini. I mean, he still is. We just don't know where he is. But, Geminis are adaptable. They're, the jack of all trades and changeable. And, that was kind of neat to see his mom in the stands. So, there was a little ray of sunshine there towards the end.
Yeah, I know I should be. I know what I should be, but I know what I feel, and I can't.
It's okay.
A position player pitching in the fourth game of the season's like, I don't want to see that.
Right. No, I know. You're a Pisces, and, you're definitely in touch with your feelings. And in a perfect world, you certainly don't want to see a position player in the fourth game of the baseball season pitching, to close the game. But, by the same token, the Dodgers, want to save the bullpen, and the game was pretty much out of hand. So I could see, the reasoning on some level.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I totally understand that. It's just, it's a bad look.
Yeah. No, that is true.
I mean, that's the thing about it. It's like, looking at, throwing a position player out there. So how do you feel about? So is there anything good for Trevor? Trevor Rosenthal needs some good news.
Yeah. I'll have to look at his chart a little more closely. But here's the mantra: delay doesn't mean denial with his transit. So it might take a little longer, but hopefully he will get back on track. But he needs to take care of himself. And how long is his contract? What did the A's get him for?
It's a 1-year, $11 million deal.
Yeah, less is more. Yeah, let's just say 1 year. Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Yeah, well, I mean, for him, it was a good deal from the standpoint of, he probably wanted multi-year deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Threw the ball really well, from Kansas City to the Padres, and thought he'd probably get more than 1 year. But I guess no one was offering that. So you take the 1 year with Oakland. You bet on yourself that you're going to come in, you're going to close games, you'll look good. And then after that, then you can try and take that into a multi-year deal after that. But, man, who knows? So I need you to check his chart for me.
Yeah, I'll do my due diligence, but I wouldn't offer him a contract beyond this year, just from what I've seen so far. But I'll do more of a deep dive and let you know.
All right, great stuff. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, take good care. Happy Easter to you and the family.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greg in San Luis Obispo, I thought it was our user error, but it may be your phone. Are you there?
I'm here, Townie. I thought I got ran for calling the Astros daddy. I wasn't sure what was going on.
No, all of a sudden you were gone.
Yeah, no, it could have been me. I got good reception here, so I don't know. It's been that kind of 4-game series, I guess. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, trust me, I know.
A couple things I want to touch on, Townie, and I want to get an honest answer from you. I know you're honest, and you always tell it like it is, and that's why I think A's Cast is the best post-game show. I listen to a lot of shows, and you look at the hitting, and I know that's one thing to harp on when you're only scoring 1 or 2 runs a game. But being a former player like yourself, it's hard to look up at the scoreboard and see a team with 8, 9 runs. The A's come back and battle 1-1, and then Manaea gets 2 outs and gives up the 3-run bomb. I mean, hard to always be down when you're already not hitting that good and you kind of started out slow. It's hard to dig in the box when you look up and it's 9-1. It's 5-1. It's and that's kind of the one thing I wanted to get your honest opinion on was when you look at this rotation outside of Bassett, who do you trust? Luzardo wasn't good last year. Fiers is pitching to JC guys at some undisclosed location. Manaea wasn't good last year. Frankie Montas wasn't good last year. I mean, who can you hang your hat on in this rotation besides Bassett? And I hear a lot of guys say, oh, well, last year was the pandemic year. Well, if we're going to give Bassett credit for last year's pandemic year and being good, we can't then just say, oh, well, Luzardo had a bad year because it was a pandemic or, it was only 60 games. So that's not how it works. If you're going to give Bassett the credit, you got to look at, what about the guys that didn't pitch well? So I'm looking at that rotation. I know it's early. Everyone's made that point. But I guess my question to you is, at what point do you really start scratching your head and looking at that rotation and going like, is it time to call up Puck? Is it time to call up Dalton Jeffries? I mean, what's your take? I know the hitting's been awful. There's no and if or buts about that, like Jose Canseco used to say. But what's your take on the rotation going forward? I mean, I'm a little rattled when I look at the A's rotation.
You got to give it some time. I mean, you can't just say. I mean, this is all just one start. Each guy has just had one start. Not every guy has had a start yet. We got to give it. It's only been 4 games. You got to give it a few starts before you say, "Oh my God, got to get him out, bring him up." You got to give it some time. I will play to that. I don't think you can say you had one bad start, you're out of the rotation. That would be. I mean, if you ran a ball club like that, you'd be a loser. No, you got to give it.
Well, my question is, who do you trust? Maybe I'm not saying to run guys out, but honestly, who do you trust? That's what I'm asking. You got Bassett, and then what?
Well, I think Frankie Montas has an incredible arm. I think he's somebody who has tremendous stuff. I trust. I'm big on Chris Bassett. All I got to look at his record since Chris Bassett came over to the Athletics. His record, and especially at home, has been impeccable. So, so if you could get him, did I say Bassett? I meant Mike Fiers. You get Mike Fiers. I've always been a Fiers guy. I think he wins. I think the club wins when he's on the mound. Obviously, Bassett. I do believe in Jesus Luzardo. He's just still young and he's learning how to pitch, but he's got an electric arm. And Sean Manaea, when he's right, Sean Manaea can win you games. So I'd take the A's starting staff over a lot of other teams' starting staff.
That's fair. I agree with you on Fiers. I think he's been great, like you said, especially at home. But let's be honest. I mean, Father Time's undefeated. Fiers ain't getting any younger, and it hasn't been a great start. He hasn't thrown a pitch yet. I mean, he didn't pitch an inning in spring. So, how's he going to bounce back? I trust the bullpen. I think they're going to figure it out. But I agree with you that if Rosenthal's going to be out for any length of time, I think we're in big trouble because, like Fossey said, that just throws the whole bullpen in shambles. So,
well, I can tell you this:
Dodger series,
he's not coming back anytime soon.
In my opinion, that's sad to hear. In this day and age, you got to have a closer, and it affects the whole bullpen. And the bullpen hadn't been good thus far. I understand it's Houston and it's only 4 games, but we don't got the firepower that Houston has. Let's just tell it like it is. If we go to Houston, 1-6, or God forbid 0-7,
oh, don't say it.
It might be panic button time. I mean, I understand 162 games, blah, 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 blah. You don't want to go to Houston with those fans knowing how Oakland booed and yelled cheaters and this and that. There might be 20,000 fans in Houston. And Houston's going to smell blood in the water if we're 1-6 or 0-7. And that's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It ain't looking good right now.
Yeah, the worse your record gets early means just how spectacular you'll have to play just to get back to 5. Here's the thing about chasing 500. We've seen it throughout the years that teams that get off to a bad start, now they're playing catch-up, and they work so hard to get to 500. And then if they're able to get back to 500, what do you see? Then you see them drop back down because they worked so hard to get to 500, and like the team goes, oh, we got here. And then they lose like 3-4 in a row again. And then they're playing that dance of constantly trying to get back to 500. We've seen that dance before, and it's tough to do. That's why this series – then you're going to have 3 in Houston. You're going to get some reprieve coming up here, you think, with Arizona and Detroit. But then you're going to have Minnesota, good team. Baltimore's winning first. They're winning their first series against the Red Sox. Then you got 4 against Tampa on the road. I mean, you're playing good team. You got a 4-game set with Toronto coming up. I mean, you've got Minnesota again. You got Houston. I mean, you got so much Houston in the first 2 months. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, it's early, but you better pick up your game, man, or you're going to be looking up at that mark of 500, and it's going to be up there, and you're going to be like, wow, we're not sniffing it.
There was a season with the Hudson Mulder and Zito era where the A's started out 3-8. I don't remember what year it was. I know you know that because of your stats and your knowledge. Maybe the staff's great too. But look that up. There was a year during the Big 3 era where the A's started out 3-8 and they ended up making the playoffs. But like you said, we start out slow. Well, they're starting out slow and then they're starting out just garbage. And if you tell me I'd be surprised if the Dodgers swept us the way we're playing now, I wouldn't be surprised. We got 3 horses coming in, and in my opinion, we got to get 2 or 3. I mean, that I don't want to go to Houston 1-6. I just think that's, you talk about a bad look and panic button. I don't know, Tony. 3-8 is what I'm thinking about with the big 3. That kind of, there is a silver lining there that it can be done. Like I said, I don't know what year that was. You guys can probably look that up, but I don't know, brother. We need to get healthy. I mean, that Chad Pinder injury, it literally took the wind out of my sails because, as you know, I'm a big Chad Pinder guy. And to see that happen early on, I mean, I can't think of a worse start to a season with a team that has so much promise and so much talent and the off-season moves. And it's raining right now. It's raining right now. So,
yeah, I hear you,
brother. Love you.
Take care. Happy Easter.
You too. Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, Dodgers are coming to town. Dodger baseball. Ken Korak doing his Vin Scully. It's really, really good. Maybe we'll get some Ken Korak doing Vinny during this series. Yeah, Dodgers are coming to town, and I think Greg's right. I mean, you can't leave town 1-6, 0-7 going to Houston. That's whoa. I don't like the don't worry about it. We always get hot. Okay. That magic doesn't work every year. Hopefully it's going to work this year. Let's see how the Dodgers series works out. Dodgers are coming to town. They got terrific talent. They're the world champs. As I said before the playoffs, anybody who wins the World Series last year, in my opinion, will go down as a great team, one of the great teams. And it's just not on the field. It's what you had to deal with. No other World Series team had to deal with what the Dodgers had to deal with. And that goes for all the playoff teams. Being in a bubble, a pandemic is all around you, record amount of death is around you, trying to protect these guys, scary, and, getting tested, having to get to the ballpark, being tested every day. Remember, Justin Turner in the end tested positive for COVID. What would have happened if Kevin Cash doesn't take out Blake Snell, he gives you more, and then the bullpen takes it home, and Tampa wins? What would they have done for Game 7 now that Justin Turner tested positive? What would they have done? You would have to halted the World Series and everybody stepped back and tested for a couple days, and hopefully it was just Justin Turner. And then it would have been, I don't know how many, I don't know what they would have done. I'm spitballing here. That they would have had to wait a couple days, keep testing everybody every day, hopefully no one else tests positive, and then play a Game 7? We have no idea what Major League Baseball would have done. COVID is staring down the league at all times. That's why I think what they did was so special. Somebody was going to win the World Series, and in my eyes, that team was going to be really, really special because of all the circumstances around them. No other team has had to go through that before. And in the end, the Dodgers were the toughest team. I do think they had an advantage. The fact that they got to play in Arlington the whole time, stayed at the same hotel, their clubhouse never changed while they were in the postseason. They played in front of fans in the National League Championship Series. Tampa had to leave their bubble in San Diego to go to Texas, create a new bubble. All of a sudden they're playing in front of fans. They're playing at a new stadium. They'd never played there before. Brand new stadium. They had never played there before. Dodgers have been camped out there. That became their home ballpark. I think that was an advantage, but in the end, you know what? I give the Dodgers credit. I think they're one of the toughest teams we've seen. To be able to win during a pandemic, that's pretty special. All righty, let's hear from Bob Melvin after this 9-2 loss and the sweep by the Astros.
do you have an update on Pinder?
Yeah, left knee sprain. We're going to get an MRI on it tomorrow, so we'll know more.
And then just how do you sort of sum up the series? I know this morning you said that obviously they are coming playing hot and you guys aren't playing well, but how do you describe the 4 games?
Look, we don't feel good about it. It's a little bit embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, we played really poorly and they played great. We ended up losing 4 games, but I think in perspective, we have to look at it as just 4 games in 162. So we need to play a little more urgency. We obviously have to play better. We got another tough team coming in and then we go there. So we got to turn things around. It's not just going to happen for us. We have to play better baseball, and this was not good baseball for us.
Shayna Rubin.
What is your message to the team after 4-game sweep, your first since 2017?
Pretty much that. We just talked to them for a little bit. Last year, I think we swept them the first series that we played them. As the season went along, they got better and they beat us at the end. So we can't look at these 4 games as the team that we are. We're better, much better team than that. So we have to do the best we can to put this in the rearview mirror.
Let's go to Vern Glenn.
Bob, bringing in Tom at the end, was that just, hey, go in there, kid, just get us out of this and let's move on and get ready for the Dodgers?
Yeah, it wasn't anything about get us out of it. I can't expect him to go out there and get 3 outs like he did. It was because our bullpen was beat up over the course of these 4 games, and they scored runs every single game. And we have 6 more with the Dodgers and Houston coming up, and I just didn't want to have to use another pitcher.
How about
I hate doing it. I hate doing it, but we had to do it.
You got a standing ovation coming out of there.
Well, he should. Nice cleaning. I'm sure he was nervous. He's never done it before. So hopefully it brings a little levity at the end of the game.
Let's go back to Kawahara.
What did you think? How would you evaluate Manaya's outing? It was rocky in the early.
Yeah, they just made him work hard early. There weren't many swings and misses. They were swinging at balls in the zone and made him work. It pretty much the way the whole series went. We had trouble getting him out, and it was across the board. So, I mean, we're all involved in this 4-game loss. Everybody, myself, coaching staff, players. It was a hard series for everybody.
Do you feel like you guys are covered going forward with the bullpen, or would you potentially have?
I don't know. I think we'll probably talk about that in a little bit.
Martin Gallegos.
Bob, you mentioned before the game that, Canha is a guy who could kind of get hot at times, and it looked like today he's hitting the ball pretty well. Is that kind of at least a positive going forward, that maybe he's getting it going?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's capable of being really good in that leadoff spot. He takes walks. He can drive the ball. With 6 inches away from 2 home runs today, and looks to be swinging the bat better. So he should be good for us in that spot.
Thank you, Bob.
All right.
What about it? You want to talk about a positive? Mark Canha has been a positive. I mean, the guy, he's duct tape. Anything you need. Hey, Skip, you need me to play left? You need me to play center? You need me to play right? You need me to play first? You need me to DH? Heck, you need me to lead off? I mean, this guy has been unbelievable for the A's. Mark Canha is your longest tenured player. Who would have ever thought when he was, and I asked David Forsis the other day, I said, who would have ever thought that Mark Canha, a Rule 5 draft pick, would be your longest tenured player? Not only that, he'd be an everyday player, and he'd be your leadoff guy. The center field thing, that was incredible. I never thought Mark Canha could play center field, but now he's your leadoff hitter. What did he do today? Doubled and scored, tripled and scored. He scored 4 of your 9 runs. He scored yesterday. Let's see. He scored in game 2. Mark Canha's delivering. There is no question about it. But the big thing is, what are we going to see tomorrow? The Dodgers come to town. And it's going to be stiff competition, I can guarantee you that. It is going to be no day at the beach. And the A's got to wake up, and the bats got to get going, and they got to have more shutdown innings, and you can't keep giving up crooked numbers. That's just not going to play, especially not going to play against the Los Angeles Dodgers. All righty, that is going to do it for the A's Clubhouse Show. The A's lose to the Houston Astros 9-2, and hopefully, just hopefully, it'll be much better tomorrow. Don't forget, A's Cast Live, our live talk show here on A's Cast, will start at 4 o'clock, 6:45 first pitch. We'll see you all tomorrow right here on A's Cast, powered by iHeartRadio.
Some things just go together. Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, Oakland and Kaiser Permanente. If that last one caught you off guard, it shouldn't, because Kaiser Permanente has been helping keep Oakland healthy since our very beginning. And as the official healthcare partner of the Oakland A's, that won't be changing anytime soon. Whatever you may need, you can trust Kaiser Permanente to help keep you feeling your best. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive. Visit kp.org today.
In London, it's 10 p.m. Wednesday. In Singapore, it's 5 a.m. Thursday. And in San Francisco, it's 2 p.m. Wednesday. We call that Ring Central Time. Time for teams, customers, and partners to connect online for a real-time work session. Ring Central is the leading cloud solution for today's distributed workforce, integrating voice, video, online meetings, and team messaging into one experience. It's time to work the way you want. It's Ring Central Time. For a free trial, visit ringcentral.com.
Ring Central. Communicate, collaborate, connect.
Driven, determined, resilient. Cal State East Bay students are today's creative thinkers and tomorrow's workforce for the region. Cal State East Bay is recognized as one of the most transformative college experiences nationwide, educating the new generation that questions the status quo and works together to find meaningful solutions. Apply today for our degree and certificate programs. We are not just a university, we are a community. Find yourself here at csueastbay.edu.
DQ presents Picture this. Picture a DQ chicken and biscuits basket. All white meat chicken strips nestled next to crispy golden fries and 7 mini biscuits. Fluffy, flaky mini biscuits that you can dunk in a side of warm pepper gravy. Then you leave the drive-thru and your favorite song comes on the radio. And all the streetlights turn green. This mini win calls for a mini celebration with the DQ chicken and biscuits basket. Or get it delivered at DQ.com. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Tired of searching for sports updates in different places? The Xfinity Sports Zone gives you the ultimate sports hub experience, where you can find games, news, and highlights all in one place right on your TV. Follow the teams you love across your favorite sports. You can even use the voice remote to access stats and scores. With the Xfinity Sports Zone, everybody wins. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store for details. Restrictions apply. Requires Xfinity TV service with X1.
A's fans, let's continue to do our part in stopping the spread of COVID-19. Be sure to wear a mask when you leave the house, maintain social distancing, and wash your hands frequently. Visit athletics.com/resources for additional resources and information on COVID-19. Please stay safe. That's athletics.com/resources.
This has been the A's Clubhouse Show.
Brantley going back at the track, right to the wall. He'll turn and watch it fly. And the A's take a 1-0 lead.
On the run back is Cannon to the wall. Jumps at the wall. He's got it. A Joe Rudy type catch against the wall.
Be sure to visit athletics.com/A'sCast on your device for access to exclusive A's content, including pre- and post-game for every game.
Laureano going back at the track, right to the wall. He's there, and he makes a phenomenal catch.
Thank you for joining this exclusive presentation of Oakland A's baseball.
This has been a presentation of the Oakland Athletics.